Okay, this morning I tried my hand at making faux handmade paper rather than using the pulp, and I wanted to make it kind of like translucent. I saw several videos where they used this exact technique, but they started off with copy paper, which of course is not translucent. In this case, I started with these samples, which are the offcuts of the paper. This is a deli paper, and it is super thin. It's probably I have two brands of deli deliwrap paper, and this is by far the thinnest, and it's really quite strong. And what I have been doing is, well, first of all, here is the package. And I got it a long time ago, and I forgot what I got it for. Someone said it was good, and I thought I would try it. But little did I know that and it was like $30 or something like that. And it's 1,000 sheets. 1,000 sheets. I've used so much of this. I have found it is absolutely lovely to stamp on. This is a stamped piece. It's like tissue paper, actually, only even thinner, but it's a food wrap, so it's also quite sturdy, unlike tissue paper. The other thing I have found is I can run it through my printer, and when I cut these out, the borders, I don't have to be precise about cutting it because the paper blends in to whatever I am gluing it onto. So I print loads of stuff on this. I print and I print and I print. As you can see here, I love printing in quotations and just a whole bunch of things. But what I was wondering is how it would look using a faux paper technique. So back over here, I took these pieces. This is a little offcut. First of all, in order to print my paper, this food wrap comes 12 by 12. So I have to make a cut. And it's, let's see, to make it 8.5, this would be what was left over on one side. And since it's 12 inches, I cut an inch off the length. That way I can attach it to a carrier sheet and feed it through the printer. But that's just another thing I do, and I cut lots of these. One side is a bit shiny, and one side is matte. So what I did this morning, first thing, I wanted to lay down some color to see so it would have a background. And I used my trusty inktense blocks. And what I did is just dip this in water and then run it all over the paper. And then I used a water brush, which this is not. This is the glue brush that I used. And my water brush is not at hand, but you know what they are. And I just spread the paint. And the gold color was really pretty. I like it a lot. And this coffee paper colored, although you can see some green ink on here. Anyway, I love these blocks. I use them for everything as well. This one's like 1720 is the color of this one. Willow, I think it is. Okay, so that laid down the color on the base, and then I waited until it dried. And then I had a container of stuff, which is tea leaves. I save old tea bags. This is tea leaves, and I mixed with this wonderful remnants of the fall grasses that I found outside. So I just threw that in there, and then I also snipped off. This is the tea bag that I used, and I just kept cutting pieces of the tea bag onto this wet. First thing I did is after it dried, I applied a glue. In this case, I'd had this for a while already made up. Elmer's glue, 2/3, 1/3 water, which makes it kind of thin. So I applied the glue to the painted dry painted surface. And the reason I use the inktense blocks is that they are transparent or translucent, so you can see through them. And that's really what I was going for, is a paper that you would be able to, see through. As you can see my hand. So the inclusions then were what's in this little, I cut up some of this grass and added it to the tea, and again the paper. So I threw a coat of thin glue on this paper and then added these inclusions to that. And while it was still wet with glue, I took a sheet of tissue paper, which is, if you've ever used napkins, you have at least two of these white sheets left over. And of course, I save everything. So you just kind of place this on top of the glued and inclusion surface, and then wait, that's the hard part, till it dries. Next time I will try some threads, but I'm very pleased. And the other thing is I can do a 12 by 12 sheet of it if I want. This was just an experiment to see how the color would work, and I could add colors. But see how thin? This is one sheet of the deliwrap, a sheet of glue, and then on top of it, the tissue paper. So I think I'm going to like these quite a bit. I love this yellow one. And the gal whose tutorial I used said it was addictive, and I can see why it would be, because it's just lots of fun. So this is my faux handmade faux handmade paper, and I will do this more. I really did like it.